Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today, we are diving deep into a fiery debate dominating Nigerian political discourse, the role of age in leadership. The recent discussions on Arise News, particularly concerning prominent figures like Abubakar and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have really stirred the pot. It is a conversation that goes beyond mere years and touches on capability, experience, and the very fabric of our political expectations. We'll look at how commentators try to dissect this, sometimes with sharp jabs and other times with a more grounded approach. Let us roll the tape and see what our Rise team had to say. Sit back and take a watch.
Go ahead.
And I hope that, for what it's worth, in 2027 elections, some people will have the temerity to even come and attend the debates in the first place. Because it's so easy for people to talk, but they don't like to attend debates, to debate their ideas. At least Abubakar attended debates. At least Abubakar, that they're not talking, that some people are pushing the agenda that is quite too old. At least we have never had a reason to dispute his age. But there are many people that will dispute their age in this country. And we just, fritter around hypocrisy of the highest order. You see, this propaganda that somebody is too old, is too this and everything. The truth is, what we are looking for, like Ayo said rightly, is the best ideas on the table. Be it an old man or a young man that could bring the best ideas to be able to change the order of things. When people make arguments about young people, have we not seen young people run states in this country? Didn't they fail woefully?
Sure.
The person that after he became governor is telling State House Assembly members, Makuru Maga, is he not a young person? Was that person not one of the youngest governors in this country? And at the same time, we've seen young people, the likes of Donald Duke, that did very well. So it's not about the age range. It's about the capacity of an individual himself.
Right.
Is the individual a good person or a bad person? But you see, the problem with Nigeria is that we have a way of bringing in rogues. People that their age is in dispute. People that certificate is in dispute. All sorts of matters around them. That's the people we bring into leadership. And that's why this country is not moving forward.
All right.
And that's why Frank Schreiber said all the things he said. How will a country move forward when you have people that, yes, we celebrate good part, like we celebrated Lagos today, we celebrated the returning of all of them, but collectively, on the terms of leadership, we see gaps. And when we see these gaps, and I remember expressly yesterday you stated, Ojin, that he said it's only when the person wins the primaries. So those are going to spin narrative, they should continue.
Okay, very clearly. Look, the major issue here is that the Nigerian constitution is very clear about eligibility. It does not give you a limit as to what age you can qualify for the presidency of Nigeria. Other conditions are properly spelled out there. You must not be a criminal, you must be a Nigerian citizen. It doesn't say if you are 75 years old or 80 years old, you cannot run for the presidency of Nigeria. After all, in neighboring Cameroon, Paul Biya, who is 92 going to become 93, he's still in the race, and he's the oldest monarch. Yeah, he's a monarch. That's what he is in the world, and he's still saying he wants to die in office. Mutharika in Malawi, who just came back as president, he's 85. Now, what is important is not about the physical age; it's about the age of your ideas. Now, in the case of Waziri Adamawa, Atiku'S, Abubakar, now there is a group, the Obedient Movement. They have been saying to beat President Tinubu and the APC, it would be better for him to step down for Mr. Peter Obi. Now, the clarification that he has offered is that he has never said he will step down for anybody. He has been in that race since 2003. And in fact, if he doesn't win in 2027, you can be sure he will come again in 2031. What we should be emphasizing is that it is up to the Nigerian people to make a choice who they want as their president.
All right.
The choice should be ours. And that's why we keep saying that, there should be electoral reform. There should be a level playing field. There should be transparency. And it's good that he has said if he loses the ADC primaries, he will support whoever wins. That will mean he behaving as a good party loyal party member.
Yeah.
As for Frank Shaibu, I think he wrote that piece, rejoinder to President Tinubu, in a fit of hunger. He must have been hungry. There's all those metaphors. He was talking about yam, he was talking about meat, he was talking about pot, he was talking about... Look, what do you expect Frank Shaibu to say? It's not only Frank Shaibu.
So he's probably very hungry then.
Well, find him a pot of yam so that he can... Now, the president, on the occasion of the Independence Day, used the occasion to showcase his administration, to say this is what we have been doing. Right. What do you expect him to say? To abuse himself on Independence Day? And he said, look, Nigerians should be patient, Nigerians should expect more. Right. He called it a message of hope.
Yeah. Okay.
The PDP too has condemned the speech. So that's just partisan talk. They will condemn it. But as for security, health, and other dimensions that Frank Shaibu identified, President Tinubu says he will do more. And we expect him to do more so that this country can be safe, so that our hospitals will not be quasi-mortuaries, so that, the freedom of all Nigerians under the Constitution will be guaranteed.
Well said, Dr.
Oji Okpe kicked us off, setting the stage for a discussion that quickly took a familiar turn. Now you heard Rufai Oseni, and as usual, he didn't hold back. He began by questioning the temerity of some to even attend debate. A thinly veiled swipe at President Tinubu's past debate absences. He lauded Abubakar for attending debates, subtly positioning him against the current president. Rufai then delved into what he called propaganda that some people is too old, which combined with his references to hypocrisy and people whose age is in dispute or certificate is in dispute, left little doubt about who he was targeting. He seemed to suggest that this issue leads to rogues in leadership, implying a direct link between the current leadership and these perceived flaws. He also made a point about young governors failing, contrasting it with a few who did well. But his overall tone leaned heavily into a narrative critically to established older politicians, echoing sentiments of heard from Peter Obi's supporters. It's almost as if he's becoming a direct mouthpiece, delving strong partisan attacks under the guise of analysis. But then, Reuben Abati stepped in, bringing a much-needed matured and constitutional perspective. He calmly reminded everyone that the Nigerian constitution has no age limit for the presidency. He cited examples for long-serving older leaders like Paul Biya of Cameroon, who is in his 90s, and Mutharika of Malawi, to illustrate that age in itself is not a disqualifier. Dr. Abati skillfully pivoted the conversation from physical age to the age of your ideas. He also clarified Abubakar position on the 2027 race, noting that Atiku did not stop youths from contesting and that his party ADC has both youth and women. Crucially, he also dismissed Frank Shaibu's recent critical piece about President Tinubu as a product of hunger and sharp rebuke for what he likely saw as overly aggressive and perhaps financially motivated criticism rather than genuine policy critique. Dr. Abati concluded by emphasizing President Tinubu's Independence Day speech of hope and the need for Nigerians to be patient, focusing on concrete issues like security and health rather than partisan attack. So, what's my critical take on all of this? While it's absolutely essential to hold leaders accountable, Rufai Oseni's continuous and often personal attacks, particularly on President Tinubu's age and credentials, risk reducing critical analysis to partisan mudsliding. When the conversation consistently devolves into veiled insults about age and certificate, it distracts from the substantive policy debate that Nigeria desperately needs. It truly does feel like he's taking on the role of Peter Obi's most vocal advocate, consistently undermining the current government with thinly veiled jabs. On the other hand, Dr. Abati's intervention was a breath of fresh air by grounding the discussion in constitutional international examples and the core principle that leadership is about the quality of ideas, not just chronological age. He elevated the discourse. He highlighted the dangers of electing leaders based solely on age or popular sentiments without scrutinizing their capacity and ideas. His dismissal of politically charged rhetoric as mere hunger speaks volume about the perceived desperation and lack of substance in some criticisms. Ultimately, this segment underscores a persistent challenge in Nigerian politics, the tendency of personality-driven attacks and ageism to overshadow a rigorous examination of policies, competence, and vision. We need to move beyond this superficial battle and demand serious fact-based discussion about how our leaders, regardless of their age, plan to tackle the monumental challenges facing our nation. That's all for today on Obas Trending Gist. What are your thoughts on age in leadership? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending gist. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.